A big thank you to our sponsor, iFixit, who fights for your right to repair and makes really cool tools in the process. If you need to fix your phone, laptop, or even a vacuum, iFixit has thousands of parts, tools, and free guides.
Mercury, Mercury Stardust. She's a beacon of hope in the darkest night. Mercury, Mercury Stardust. She'll teach you how to make it all alright.
Hey there, hi, my name is Mercury, and I'm the trans handyman. My pronouns are she, her, and I teach compassionate DIY. We're here to help renters, LGBTQIA members, and anyone who's feeling left out in a DIY space. Hey there, hi. Thank you so much for listening in to the Handyman Hotline. We are so excited for this episode. We have another call episode.
Yay.
Yeah, where I am calling people and we are going to be answering questions. We got a doozy on this one. We got calls that are about handy things, and we also got calls that are very emotional. So if you are someone who has trans kids in your life, this may be an episode that's going to have a little bit of a heavy part of it at some point. But that all being said, it is a beautiful episode. We're very proud of this one, and I hope that you're going to enjoy it as well. As always, we have my wonderful friends, Matthew Allen Haig, as my sound engineer and sometimes chimes in. Hi, Matt.
Oh, hello.
Oh, you having a good day, buddy?
It's nighttime.
Oh, it is. But you don't need to tell the audience that. And as always, we have our fact checker dash creative director dash best friend dash co-host Basil's here.
Wow, I have a lot of dashes.
You have so many dashes. Honestly, do you identify as a dash?
Maybe you should just start calling me Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash! I kind of love that, dude. Okay, all that being said, are you ready to start the Poopcast?
I don't know about that, but I am ready to start the podcast.
Oh, okay. I just snuck it in there. I wanted to see if you were going to. It's just me and Basil talking about poop for 45 minutes.
But I mean, I've worked in healthcare, so we probably could.
Yeah, and honestly, I've cleaned so much poop. You and I are actually kind of poop experts. We're the
You
people.
would say.
Honestly, yeah, we would have a great poopcast together. But this isn't that. So everyone, I hope you sit back and enjoy the show. Here we go. Ring the first ringer.
Hey, Mercury, huge fan. Name's Harrison. I have really long hair. My partner has really long hair, and that's caused a disaster in our drain. So it's got one of those drain stoppers that's like a round little UFO disc, and you push down on it and pull up on it. I don't know how to get it out. Now, I know how to use a drain snake, but I don't know how to clear the drain so I can get a snake down there. What do you got for me? Thanks. He, him pronouns, usually. Have a good one.
Hello.
Hey, Harrison, how's it going?
Hey, Mercury.
Yeah, it's so nice to talk to you, buddy. How's it going? Has anything gotten worse or better since you called?
Well, I tried those, and I know on your TikToks you say that they're not really worth anything. I now have proof, but those little drain zippers with the barbs on them.
Oh, the zippets. The plastic zippets, yeah.
It got some of the hair out, so it drained a little bit better, but then it just went right back to what it was doing. So,
Yeah.
As a temporary get a little bit more flow, it sort of works.
Yeah, and I see why you would go that route, right? Like zippets, the idea of a zippet makes sense. It's a small 1 foot, plastic thing that goes right underneath the drain that should theoretically be able to go into the elbow and then pull some stuff out. But the problem is that the drain plug that you got specifically, you have a drain plug that is either it's a lift and turn or it's a push and pull. They're always hard to tell from just a photo, but either way, they kind of function similarly because they have what we call to be a cross bracket underneath it. And that cross bracket is actually where a lot of the hair will catch. It's it'll catch right in that cross bracket, and then getting a zip it down between that and then pulling hair up. Well, that hair is probably going to be thicker on that zip it than it's going to be able to fit through that cross. Do you know what I mean? The hole is not big enough. So you're just cracking that plastic, and you can lose the little teeth on that darn thing, and then you can have a bigger clog. So
Yeah.
here's my thought process. right now. First and foremost, how to get the plug off, okay? You say that you have like there's a little handle that you pull up and you turn or something, right?
Yeah. You pull right up on it, and then it stops, and you can push it back down. So it's like a friction sort of locking mechanism.
Okay, so it is a push and pull, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, with that, the handle on the very top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, 9 times out of 10, that handle can be removed and will reveal a screw underneath.
So I did try to remove it. Obviously, I'm renting, so I don't want to accidentally break it.
Yes.
But it's on there real good, and I don't want to mar it up by using channel locks or anything.
Okay, so you're already thinking. I got another question. Do you have an overflow drain?
I do have one. Yeah.
Take the overflow drain off
Mm-hmm.
and then snake it from there.
Okay.
If you snake it from this is something I use. So you're right. You shouldn't force something or break anything. A lot of stuff in tubs can be really brittle, right? Especially if it's been there for a long time, and especially those stupid plugs can crack, and those crossbars. If those crack, you got to replace the whole darn thing, and no technician wants to do that, right? So
Yeah.
I would say that you could take a rag and wrap it around the base of that plug, and then take another rag and wrap it around the top handle, and then kind of hold the base, the bottom, and then twist the top, right? You could do that. And that it won't take much. And whenever you have any hard, if something is coming apart hard, like even lug nuts on a car, right? One of the worst things that you can do is try to pound on it really quickly. Sudden jerks are what causes breaks. What you want is a continuous, constant pressure that increases over time. So if you have a longer handle, right? Like if you have channel locks that are turning the top in one direction and try to get it off, that channel locks, if it was a longer handle, like 16 or 18 inches, that can give you more leverage and more constant pressure as you're just torquing it nice and slow. Do you know what I mean? But anyways,
yeah.
If you don't want to risk that, the overflow drain is the best option.
Okay.
That's connected to that drain. So the overflow drain and your actual tub drain are connected to the same drain. They only got maybe 1 foot of a difference. And the clog you have, the amount of hair that you're telling me you got, how much hair are we saying 1980s hairband hair? Are we talking about Shania Twain, I believe I'm a woman hair,
So Megan's hair is definitely between Shania Twain, I Feel Like a Woman, and Ace Frehley. Whereas
the picture!
mine's a little bit closer to Star Child from Kiss.
Dean Snyder
more...
from Twisted Sister.
yeah.
No, okay.
I'm right in that range.
That's a really. Thank you for that extremely accurate. I love that I could hear someone laugh in the background.
That's my partner Megan. But I also have to mention that I've got a ZZ Top beard that's down to my navel.
Oh,
so we've also got that going on.
Wow, Harrison, you are bearing the lead, friend. Wow, this is a lot of hair. This is a lot. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm gonna say, go through the overflow. Get a pistol grip hand auger. If you got that much hair, the chances are you got a clog that's pretty far down. When you turn the water on, Harrison, how long does it take for it to fill up? Clog.
Oh, hey, how long does it take for the
pretty
tub
fast
to fill up?
Or almost immediately?
Not long. Pretty fast.
Okay, so if it's less than 10 seconds, it's probably actually underneath the tub drain. If it's almost simultaneously, you turn the water on and it immediately stands in the water, right? If it takes 20 seconds or 30 or 40 seconds to really start backing up, you got a clog that's about 8 to 12 feet away. And that's where you go through the overflow drain. I still say, just because of easy convenience, go through the overflow drain, Harrison.
Right.
And you should be okay. when you use, I say this all the time, but when you use the auger, please make sure that you take the tip of it at a 45-degree angle. That's going to make your light.
I totally remember.
Yeah. I say it all the time.
The first TikTok of yours I saw was you talking about snakes, and I was at a different place that had a different clog in a different tub.
Wow.
And we went out and we got an auger, and that got it going.
Okay, Harrison.
I just was having trouble figuring out how to get the auger.
I don't usually say this, but you are the problem. Your hair, I think you're the common denominator, buddy. I think your Dean Snyder hair, your Star Child hair, and your ZZ Top beard may be the culprit. But here's the thing. There's actually ways to work around that now. So, like, now that we talked about that, we can talk about preventative stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's two products that I would recommend. The first one is a tea shroom. Which sounds like, something you might get in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? But it's a thing that will catch all of the hair for you. The problem with that one is you have to take the tub drain out, like the plug. You would have to take that out to put it in.
Gotcha.
And the same thing with something called the drain funnel. I really hate the drain funnel. I've made videos on it. I don't think we should design anything to go down a drain, but the drain funnel is designed in a way that it takes the hair that we are putting into the tub and then puts it down to a very small hole in the drain funnel. So it only lets one hair at a time, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's more steady instead of like clump. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think you could try one of those two products and see what works for you. How old is this apartment building? Pretty old? Like 100 years old or 20 years old?
Definitely not 100. Maybe closer to 40, 50.
Okay, so it may have cast iron pipes. And in that case, you may not want to do the drain funnel. You might want to do the tea rooms. Because if it has cast iron pipes, more likely than not, you might actually cause more problems.
So I've got a $400 3D printer downstairs, and it seems to me if I get something that has some sort of a magnetic fitment to go over the existing drain plug and then just has some sort of like a barbed hole system, I could just pull the hair off of it when I'm done.
Sure, you do whatever you want. Harrison, this is some MacGyver shit, buddy. And if this works, man, I'll tell you right now, you call me back up and you and I will market this and we'll go 50-50 in a Stardust stopper. Okay? All right?
We'll do 60-40. We'll do 60-40.
Wow!
Just the idea.
Wow. Way to go.
No. I'm gonna start designing. I'll hit you up. I'll text you back and let you know when it's done.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Harrison, I hope that helped you. Good luck and everything, and give Megan my best.
Will do. I will.
Okay. Talk to you later, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was a wonderful human being. Oh, what a funny person. Boy, I love funny people.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That was Harrison was a genuinely kind person too. I really wish them the best of luck. You know what I think is so funny about it too is that like genuinely we always blame ourselves when it comes to this kind of stuff. But like honestly, if you're a landlord, I just don't know why you don't give people a tea room. Like I don't know why you don't have something that's designed for that. I feel like it can save you a lot of money. Like why not have even like if you have a newer apartment that's built less than 20 years, you could probably use a drain funnel. So why don't you just put a drain funnel in? Why don't you just put something that's going to catch it in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, then they would have to like care about the people that live there.
And they're going to say something about like, oh, then they won't have a plug. Well, then you just install a latch one. Do you know what I mean? Like there's ways around this. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it just involves work.
Yeah, it does. But also like the amount of times that this happens. Yeah. It's one of the most common things we get calls for. And yet it's almost always apartments. You notice that? It's almost always renters who are calling it. Very rarely do we get questions about clogs from a homeowner. And I think that says a lot, to be honest. So if you're a landlord, get on top of it. Okay, let's go to the next call now. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Steph. My pronouns are they, them, and I just want to thank you so, so much. I have a 7-year-old trans daughter, and I'm excited that she's going to be able to grow up with people like you around, and it's amazing. And also, a quick question. I have arthritis and fibromyalgia real bad, but I love woodworking and want to know if you have any tips so that I can handle the things, because it's starting to hurt and I'm dropping all the things. So that sucks. But again, thank you. I love you. You are the greatest person ever. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I totally left a message. I'm going to send the actual question that I really want to ask you. Is my 7-year-old trans daughter is having a lot of gender dysphoria. She has a lot of mental health issues. She has DMDD. She's autistic. She has ADHD. But a lot of the stuff that is going on with her body right now is confusing to her, even though we're going to get her on hormone blockers. She's having a lot of dysphoria with her arm hair. And if there was anything that you could have had when you were younger going through those changes, what would it be, I guess? I don't know. I just need any help to help my daughter. I'm non-binary, but from the female to male side, so I don't know anything about that stuff. So if you can help me, that'd be great. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hello?
Hey there. Hi. How's it going, Steph?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I hope that you're having a good day.
Yeah, for sure.
It sounds like you got a lot going on. And
Yeah.
let's start with your pain. Let's talk about your pain management and what we can do to relieve that while you're doing some handiwork, and then we'll get to the more personal stuff with your kiddo. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of handiwork do you do?
Well, I try to do it all, but my wife usually fixes it after I'm done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
She's really good at it. I try to.
You do basically try to do a little bit of everything. Now.
Yeah, I like to do woodworking, and I do coat racks for the kids, and we have 4 kids, so we do a lot of the cheaper the better, and usually it's doing it yourself.
When you're doing it, are you doing it like hours at a time? Are you weekend warring with this, or are you doing it pretty consistently all the time?
I mean, I used to weekend warrior it all the time, and then I do have fibromyalgia and some kind of arthritis they can't figure out. So lately it's just any with the vibration of the sander,
I know,
even the drill sometimes, it just
yeah.
I just drop it, and I'm like, okay, this isn't safe. Maybe I should stop for a while.
You can't. Yeah, when you have that, you can't even hold something properly if you have that much vibration. What kind of? Are we talking? Is this like a corded sander that you have?
No, it's a cordless DeWalt.
Cordless,
just a 5-inch orbital.
Okay,
yeah.
What's the voltage on it? Is it a 20 volt?
It's a 20-volt battery. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and sadly, you're not going to get a whole lot. You're not going to get a whole lot from the smaller ones, right? Like if you get
I tried the Makita corded because I can at least variate the speed, and that seemed to help a little bit.
Yeah.
But then my piece looks like caca. So what do you do?
I will say this. I will just tell you right now. I hate orbiter sanders. I think that when it comes to woodworking, they're one of the most inefficient ways. They look like they go across the grain. They damage the wood. They make it. They'll always take the there'll always be a not so nice line here or there with those dumb things.
Oh yeah, that's not fun.
I like sanding blocks. I like belt sanders and sanding blocks, and that might be a little bit easier on the joints to some extent. Belt sanders have different kinds of problems. That's a lot of power to have in there.
Yeah,
but maybe that's something you can invest in, right? Do you wear any type of compression gloves when you're doing any type of work or anything?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So I wear compression wrist sleeves that I've gotten off Amazon. We use it actually when I do my book signings. I don't wear them all the time, but when my wrists are starting to act up, or I've done a bunch of signings in a row and I'm a little worn out, it really helps me a lot. It makes me not even think about it. So I say definitely look into the compression sleeves.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll check them out.
Now, Basil is here with me too. Basil, do you have any snippets to throw in here real quick?
Just like a quick thing that, like, getting some blood flow moving is usually good to help reduce stiffness. And, like, if you're losing feeling in your fingers, sometimes just, like,
Yeah.
doing some gentle, like, closing and opening of your hands, that can help a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, again, this is all stuff that we're just basically trying to put a Band-Aid on a problem that we're, as technicians, not going to solve, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
I know you. I know this already from the tone of your voice and from how we're talking. I know that if a doctor told you you couldn't do this, you would fucking do it anyways. So
I'd find a way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
100 way,
Yeah.
right? So let's try to
Yeah.
find a way for you to live that quality of life that you want to live within a reasonable way, right? So
Yeah.
I also say invest in a good anti-fatigue glove, okay? Invest in anything that's anti-fatigue, anything, right? The mats, if they're easier on your feet, anything that can help make your life easier in your workshop or anything, definitely do it, right? Like if it, it's a little bit more cost prohibitive, but all that stuff really adds up, especially the anti-fatigue stuff. Wow, that stuff makes a huge difference. Yeah.
And then just one more thing that we can mention here too. If you have access to it, you could look into potentially getting a referral to an occupational therapist. They're like a physical therapist that works with hands and arms, shoulders, stuff like that. They might be able to help you, like, find some different ways to do things or exercises that could help.
A lot of specialists will have a lot more of an, like, they won't tell you you shouldn't do something. Like, they'll basically they'll try to work with you first most of the time. So I say go that route and see what happens.
Yeah, cool.
And I hope that you get some solutions from there. I know that probably isn't all the best thing, but I hope there's at least one or two things that you can take from that and go, yay, that it kind of works. I would also say
it helps in the
the last thing I will say,
it's helping in the way that I slow down. So I slow down, take my time doing it.
The last thing I will say, if we're talking about your hands hurting and all that stuff, there's two things I want you to keep in mind when you're talking about tools. Okay, I want you to focus on getting Milwaukee 12-volt tools. Okay, Milwaukee 12 volts. Specifically their M fuel system. And now the reason why I say that, some people hate this. Some people hate that I'm like one brand specific for this kind of stuff. But they have they have really low kickback. Like the drills.
Oh, really?
There's not a lot of power in them. Like the drills and the saws don't have a ton of power, but for the most of the stuff you're going to be doing. And if you want to do it long term, working with something that doesn't have all the power you need is better than having something that has so much power it beats your arms up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
totally, I get that.
Whenever you're doing anything about, like, if you're trying to, like undo a nut from something, or if you're trying to use tools or pliers or anything, get an extension for the handle. The longer the handle is, the more leverage you have, the less strain you're going to put on your wrists and your hands. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because
that
then it's just simple physics that I don't understand. That will help you a lot, yeah. So keep that in mind. A lot of tools will have extension handles that you can attach to them. I think that is a way of your life. I think that you just want to make sure that a lot of your tools have helpers in that way. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. I'll check it out.
Now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Are you ready to talk about your daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Is there any updates on how she's doing since you called me?
She's doing good. Just as far as right now, she's actually working she's in a hospital just because she's had some behaviors and issues that the gender dysphoria seems to kickstart a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where, we need a little bit more help with her right now. So she's getting that kind of help, like just seeing what kind of meds are going to be best for her.
Yeah.
But when she's here, which is normal, normally she's here, we we just don't know what to do other than like saying, look, like mommy has hair on her arms or I have hair on my arms, which
But yeah,
I just don't know what to do. Yeah,
so one of the reasons why I wanted to call you about this specifically is because this is the part of there's a struggle of trans kids that people don't hear a lot. They hear a lot about the like these amazing strong kids that are transitioning and they're great, everything is fine, and that just isn't a
Right.
reality. Transitioning is hard, and
Yeah.
being a kid is hard, and being politicized as a kid is hard, and having everyone around you, you know, just kind of criticize every part of you can be really damaging, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I think it's important for us to textualize all this before we talk about this. But ultimately, I think that when we're talking about body hair specifically, I mean, we were talking about this off air about how it's kind of like a Western ideology of beauty standards, right? Like it's a
Right.
very colonized way of thinking of, oh, you had to have no body hair on your body, right? I think that maybe introducing her to the beautiful world of strong, amazing women who have body hair might be a route to go, right? That's a long route. And is not an immediate solution, right? And it seems like there's a
Right.
lot of going on. There's a lot going on with her mental health as it is. But I do think that having those very tough conversations that may not always have a great conclusion, but those tough conversations about beauty standards and what we see online and what we see on TV and what we see on streaming services isn't reality for 99% of people. And
Right.
hair doesn't make gender, right? I think it's also important to understand that sometimes dysphoria isn't rational. Dysphoria doesn't have its own consciousness. Dysphoria is irrational. Like, it can really hurt us. It can make us very, like, sometimes I look in the mirror and I swear to God, I don't see an ounce of change. Even though if I look back of pictures, I have changed dramatically in the last 6 years. But because of my dysphoria, I sometimes I will notice every hair on my face. I will notice every single thing that makes me feel masculine. And my friends will be like, wow, you just look so feminine these days. Like, I can't see it. Right? Dysphoria blinds us to our own beauty a lot of the times. So it's important when we talk to your daughter to have that frame of thought.
Yeah.
Basil, do you have anything to add here real quick, my friend?
I just want to add on that, we talk a lot about dysphoria, and I think it's also important every time we talk about dysphoria to talk about euphoria and how we can help people build those feelings of euphoria. So maybe you can do like a little bit of conversation and see if there's anything that she really likes about her body, like something that makes her feel so happy.
Yeah.
Like something that really...
A redirect.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think for me, is if when I was a little kid growing up in northern Wisconsin, right? I also hated my body, especially when I was approaching puberty. When I was approaching puberty, it was like, man, I thought about cutting body parts off of me when I was a kid, like 8, 9 years old. I was thinking about that stuff, and that's not stuff that's great, right? If I had someone in my life that was help me redirect and remind me of what about me does help me support my gender, right? Like, if because like she can grow her hair long, right? She can do those things. She can wear the clothes that make her feel positive. She can wear long sleeves for a while if that will help her like acclimate, like all that stuff is really important, But she doesn't have to shave her arms or wax her arms or anything, especially at age 7. You don't have to try to conform to those beauty standards. And also, it's important to know that cisgender girls are 7 and 8 and 9 years old. Like they're not even allowed to touch makeup half the time until they're like 13, 14, 15, or 16. And also, a lot of them will struggle with that kind of stuff too. and struggle with the idea of what womanhood is. You know, it's a
Right.
very
Yeah.
womanhood experience, and girlhood experience to experience beauty standards and to see the
Right.
disparity. That is in its own right euphoric. I'm not going to lie. The first time that someone was sexist to me based off of me being a woman, a part of me is like, how dare you? And another part was like, well, thank you. You know?
Yeah.
There's an interesting mentality with that. I hope this helped, but I don't, life is so difficult to try to communicate these very
Yeah.
complex, nuanced discussions. And I just want you to feel like you're not alone, you know?
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I think that's the hardest thing, like, as parents, especially, we're two moms, and we had no idea we'd adopt a trans daughter. We adopted her when she was 7 months old, and she just navigated her own life. Like, we just let her be because there's bigger fish to fry, like making sure she was healthy and safe and all those things. And with the age coming up, and now she's experienced these things, it's like, as a parent, it's like on top of all the political bull at home, we're dealing with the real reality of the situation. Like, they need more attention. Our kids need more attention. I don't know. That's just how I feel,
I want to acknowledge that you're doing the best that you can, and that is good, okay? You're, as parents, you're dealing with a lot as it is, right? Parents always do. But parents who are raising trans kids are especially dealing with something on top of it. And that's a lot. It's really hard when you see politicians talk about how your kid is invalid.
Right.
And then you have to go to your kid and you have to tell them that they're valid. I mean, that's
Right.
that's rough. Like,
not just that, but protect them from that. I mean, she's 7. I won't let her watch the news. I won't let her hear it. I don't want her to hear it. But one day she's gonna have to hear it, and that sucks,
I just want to remind you, you can't protect them from it. This is a hard reality. I would let her see it. I'm not gonna lie. I've talked about this a lot of times with other parents about the reality of what it is to be trans in America. And of course, the most vicious, vile stuff, never. You try your best. But I also think that, like, it's important for us to trust their strength and trust if we are able to help bridge them and get them into a comfortable place in their life with their own body. They're strong and they are powerful, and no one's bigoted view is going to get in their way. You see it time and time and again. These trans kids are extremely, very strong people that deal with an extreme amount of hate. And I think in a lot of ways, it's okay for them to understand what the world believes on them. As long as you fill their life with love and you fill their existence with meaning and fulfillment, that is good. But in a lot of ways, they should know. They should know what the world sees about us. But when they get to a point and they're not sheltered anymore, it's not a shell shock.
Yeah.
Because, like, at some point, you're not going to be able to protect them. At some point, they will be in a tough situation, evolving their transness, and they need to be able to have the understanding and need to be able to have the built-in experience to be able to deal with that tough situation. And you only learn that by understanding how the world views you. And that's a sucky, terrible, awful thing. But I do think there's a lot of truth in that. And the ultimate call is yours, and your wife's, and I just want you to know, whatever the decisions you do with your daughter, whatever you decide to go with, however you help them, is good. You are doing the best you goddamn can. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I send you all my love, Steph. I know this is tough.
And I appreciate it every time I see you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful that Trey has somebody, some influencers like you that will be positive and there for her. And I appreciate it.
Well, I hope that I continue to send her love, and that I get to meet her someday in person. I think that would be one hell of
Yeah,
a story.
for sure.
Okay,
That'd
send
be
her
awesome.
send her
Thank
my love, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, Steph.
you. All right. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Nice job.
Yeah, it's such a hard one. It needed to be talked. We can't run away from questions like that.
Yeah.
You know, I saw it and I was like, I don't know if I'm qualified. And I'm like, no one is.
Yeah. That's the
Not
thing.
even fucking psychologists and doctors are qualified to answer that question right now. You know, when it comes to dysphoria, when it comes to raising kids in a country that is actively trying to kill us, I mean, come on. Man, our job is important.
Yep.
The amount of people that we have met on the road who are trans parents
Mm-hmm.
or trans kids has been absolutely incredible.
Mhm.
And it has been uplifting and powerful for us to see. But at the same time, there is a heavy sorrow that is in every single conversation.
Yep.
And it's like no matter how much I laugh, no matter how much joy I put out, every conversation is laced with like a deadly sadness that's attached to it. And man, trans joy is so important. Trans euphoria, as you said, is so important. But it feels like we'll always be fighting to have that seen, to have that trans joy seen and felt, because there's so much pain to have.
Yeah, but I feel like, part of our generation's fight is that exactly, is getting our trans joy seen so that
Yeah.
maybe, the next generations don't have to fight for that.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. I think that even for me sometimes it's a burden that we are having as trans people, and I don't think it's our responsibility as trans adults to try to solve every single problem for trans kids out there. If you're a trans adult listening to this and you're like, I just can't, Mercury. I don't have it in me right now. It's okay. But for those of us who have a platform, for those of us who do have the ability and emotional capacity to help, we should help.
Mhm.
We should try, as they were saying about maybe not having a local group, there should be other trans adults in that group, right? Like there should be trans people involved in these transparent groups
Mhm.
that can also guide people and see. I think it's important for parents to also see that I can be 36 years old and a #1 best-selling author and be successful and run a business. Because up until recent history, trans people were not seen to be successful. We're only seen to be deceptive. We were only seen to be conniving or the villain in someone
Mhm.
else's story. And now we get to be an actual three-dimensional human being that also does great things, but it can also be flawed.
Yeah.
And that's important. We need to see reality, and that's tough. That's tough. But I could rant about this forever.
Mhm.
Next call. Let's talk about something else that we can fix.
All right, so this question's just a little bit different. This one was sent to us as a text message, so I'm going to read
Ooh.
that off for you.
Oh, a little bit different.
So we have Sharia, she, her pronouns, sent us some very cute pictures of her cats and says, "Hi, my cats have destroyed some of my door trims and baseboards by scratching at them. I have to move out in a few months. What's the best way to fill these in, or do I have to replace the trim entirely?"
Boy, those are definitely fun. Wow. Okay, we're going to be posting these on my Instagram. So if you want to go to my Instagram and take a look at the photos and the cats, you can absolutely do that. Boy, this is a fun one. Can't wait to talk about this. So let's give her a call.
Hello.
Hey there, hi. How's it going, Serrera?
Hey, it's good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so happy that you called. Anything related to cats are going to make me happy right out of the way.
Oh my gosh, I know me too.
Okay, so
I'm
it's
so happy.
okay. So tell me what your names of the cats are because that's the most important thing, and then also tell me a little bit about your cats because I just want to know.
Oh my gosh, yes. So my oldest is Bella or Bellatrix. This was before all the J.K. Rowling stuff.
Boo.
She's 12. She's the gray one. I know we're reclaiming it, right? So that's Bella. She's sweet as can be. She's a little special. I think all gray tabbies share like 4 brain cells among them. She's her best. And then my white one, my little nub cat, her name is Storma Jean. We call her Storm Cat or Storma Bean. She is just the prettiest little fluffiest baby, and the worst part is she knows it. And she causes all of the trouble because she knows she's going to get away with it.
Oh, she looks evil. Like she has like this whole like I'm such a little princess, you have to love me kind of mentality.
That is exactly her. I made a monster. She's too cute.
Now, just to clarify, she's the one that's caused most of the damage.
Oh, absolutely. Doesn't matter how many scratching posts I buy her. Doesn't matter what kind.
Oh.
She just has it out for the trim.
You already answered. Damn it, that makes me so mad. So you already try to redirect her energy with different.
I've tried, yeah, and she'll use a few of them, and we've even got ones that we've like put up like against the door handles and stuff, so it's still in that like same area for that vertical reach. She wants nothing to do with it.
Oh, that makes it so tough. So
I know.
Do you have one of those that like lay flat on the ground by chance? Like one of the.
I do. Well, sort of. We've got one that lays on the ground and it's wavy, and she does really like that one. But she still won't let go of the baseboards. We're working on it. Might have to get her some of those little claw cat things.
Is she an up and down cat? Does she like to climb at all?
No, and that's
she
the
doesn't.
crazy thing.
She's not a vertical cat,
She
huh?
doesn't.
Mm. Okay.
She's just a little spoiled princess.
Is this old hardwood floor you have everywhere in the whole house, or is this?
It's laminate, actually.
Laminate?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any carpeting anywhere?
Yeah, carpet in a few rooms.
You do. Does she tend to rip the carpet up at all?
No, actually, not too much. She'll dig a little bit in one room where we have a water fountain, but I think she just likes to dig before she drinks water. It doesn't matter what the carpet or anything is.
Okay, and last housekeeping question to get to know her just a little bit. How is her little box behavior?
Ooh, it is. She has some issues. So both of my cats have a little bit of GI problems.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's it.
So here's the thing. I love how the trans handyman is going to have a lot of cat information, but my spouse is obsessed with cats, and I've learned more from my spouse than I've learned from anyone in my entire life about cats. And we are obsessed with Jackson Galaxy.
Oh my gosh, we do.
And
I'm crying over cats speaks to my soul.
It is wild how a lot of most of the behavior issues stem from bathroom hygiene and stem from like litter box stuff. And I would be curious, do you have one litter box or two?
We have 3, actually.
You have a good amount for 2 cats. That's good. Are they in strategically located areas? Like, is there a litter box that's close by this specific trim?
There is, actually.
That's interesting. Okay. So this is what's fascinating. I'm going to tell you some stuff. I'm not an expert on cats, okay? I'm not. But I have some suggestions. Maybe we can kind of go from there, okay? So first and foremost, she's not a vertical cat, but she's definitely, at some point, she's having a fixation, right? And cats have fixations for a lot of reasons. It could be something that's like a hangover from being a kitten, or it could be, like nervous tendency. I find it interesting that she is doing that instead of doing the cat trees and doing scratching posts. I find that very interesting that that's what she's doing instead. Was this always her behavior, or was this something that has recently changed?
That's a good question. They've always done it. It's gotten a little worse, I want to say, over the years. And they definitely have gone on a few areas that aren't near the litter boxes. So I'm not sure if correlation is causation there.
Yeah.
But it's certainly something interesting I haven't explored.
Okay. So all that being said, it's
Mhm.
always hard to fix a problem if the problem's going to keep happening. Right?
Right.
Like I can tell you to fix the trim, and by the way, that is going to be what it is. You're going to have to replace the trim. You could use wood putty. You
Mhm.
could try to. It's painted trim, which is in your favor, right? Like it's painted white trim, which is
Mhm.
genuinely what you want to hear as a renter, right? Like
Right.
you want to hear. If this was like unpainted trim, there is no flipping way you would make this look good. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
So you could
Never.
use wood filler or wood putty, and a lot of it, and then you could try to get it to look decent and smooth by sanding it. You want to make sure you get stainable or paintable wood filler because there's some kind that you can't do that with. And
Oh, really?
then when you're done with that, right, then you can try to paint it and see if it looks good. I'm willing to wager it won't look good, but if you paint the whole frame, the whole thing the same shade of white that you're going to do, it might blend well. It might, but it might not. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really hard to know for sure.
Right. Only one way to find out.
But here's a good thing. The trim itself
Mhm.
is fairly affordable to redo. Now, the sad reality is not just the trim. It's also the frame, right?
Mm.
Yeah, like it goes into the frame, and that is more expensive. That is something that you're going to have to try to wood filler it. Honestly, this is kind of like you might have to take the cost of this from the landlord. Like you can replace that trim. I don't know. Give the trim a try. If you try to wood filler and it ain't working, then I would go with replacing the trim. And if the frame still looks not great, then I would try to just be like, maybe I can just wood filler the frame a little bit and get away with it. Wood filler isn't that expensive, so you could get a whole big bucket of it for like $9. Just
that's not bad.
no, that's really not. I mean, all you need is like a good plastic knife, and then you'll be good with it. And then you're gonna want to get like a pretty decent paintbrush. And again, when you're doing it, don't do patches of paint. Do the whole, like from the floor all the way to the top.
Right, so it kind of blends in. It's a little more
Yeah,
seamless.
yeah, you want all of it. And if it doesn't look good after one coat, do 2 coats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And also, like, as a former professional who worked in property, I will tell you, I would do shit like this. So I'm just saying.
It's the landlord special.
I know. It's the landlord special. What are they going to do? Are they going to replace the whole thing? Probably not. Let's be honest, So that would be my thought process. Give it a try, see what happens. You're not going to be out a ton of money. The most you're going to be out of is probably the paint. The paint might cost you the part. You know what I mean? But all that being said, then on top of that, you should put a guard. Then you need to get a
Do they
plastic.
make guards for that?
Yeah, they do. And if they don't make a guard that fits this, then do me a favor and get those like cardboard corner protectors that factories use for packaging. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like if you get a fridge,
Yeah, that's so smart.
if you get a fridge and you get those like thick cardboard corners, I don't know what they're called. Basil, can you look up real quick what those stupid things are called for me? This is why I have
do you
Basil
think
here.
that would encourage them to scratch at it more, though?
Okay, but that's the thing, though. If it's thick enough cardboard, it won't matter. It won't matter.
Touche.
And
no different than a scratching post at that point.
it's gonna be thicker than where their claws are. You know what I mean? Like I would, and you can always replace the cardboard a whole lot easier than.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that I think might happen is that you might fix this and then cover it up, and then that little brat is gonna go somewhere else and do it in a different trim. So I would be cautious. And then I would also prepare to do it on multiple doors.
Yeah. So fortunately, we're moving out of this place soon. So I'm going to do all the repair work right before we leave. And then we're going to really tackle the behavioral stuff at the next place.
But that's the thing,
think
though.
that's the line of action.
If she still does a behavior on that stupid corner, then that's okay. You know, I even wonder if you could get some rope, like, you know, there's specific type of rope that you're supposed to use for
like that.
cat.
Not twine.
No, it's not twine.
do
Can
know
you
what
look
you're
it up real
talking
quick,
about, though.
Basil, too? Basil is looking up everything. I've done this before. I've used rope and I've wrapped it around stuff before. What you could do is that you could get, like, either you use that piece of cardboard and you just wrap it through around the cardboard, or you get a piece of wood and you attach it somewhere not permanently onto the frame in some way, but then wrap it in rope, and then maybe that will also be a deterrent. Meaning then she can use it as a scratching post because she is anyways. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Meet her
And
where.
this is how I've made the monster out of that cat, because I just give in to her and find ways to
But
make it work.
that's the thing, though. You're not. The thing is, don't look at it. You're giving into her. You're communicating with her, and you're listening. So, like, when we're talking about cats can't tell us, and we can't tell cats what they can and cannot do. Do you know what I mean? Her behavior is, if she was in the wild, she would be doing this shit anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like we're meeting her where she's at with her behavior and helping to deter it in a way that's not going to cause damage in your home, rather than being like, let's punish her over and over again, because that's going to be good. Do you know what I mean? Like, anyone who's been around cats knows you can't really punish a cat.
Oh no, they're just gonna come back with spite.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I have two.
Rightfully so.
I have two boys that wake me up every day at 4 a.m. in the morning, and no matter what I do, I can't. If I lock them out of the bedroom, what are they going to do? They're going to scratch and damage my damn bedroom door. If I put them in their crates, what are they going to do? They're going to poop in their crate and then make me regret that decision, right? If I don't feed them and I just let them, meow at me continuously, what are they going to do? They're going to then scratch or bite, or they're going to knock something over. So either I can refuse to give in to them, which is a reality that we can try to do, or I can try to meet their behavior in a way that meets with them. And the way that we've come to terms with that is me waking up and just, giving them a little bit of attention in the morning and not feeding them right away, waiting until that time. And that has really reduced a lot of the problems. Like, they know if they wake me up, I'm not going to do it still. I might get up and I might be in the couch for 2 hours, but I'm not going to feed them until the time we're going to feed them every day. And now they've kind of backed off. They don't wake me up as much because they're not going to get what they want anyways. They're just going to get mom waking up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
maybe they just want the attention.
Yeah, exactly. And they're very needy boys. And she sounds like she's a very needy girl. But all that being said, Basil's going to give the information on what those cardboard cutouts are called.
So searching, I am finding them under just cardboard corner protectors. There was a couple other similar names.
What's the cost of those? I mean, do they come in single packs, Basil, or are you going to have to buy like 10 of those?
That is
because I remember I got those cardboard corner protectors are also really good when you move out. Like, when you move out and move into places, it's so easy to damage the stupid corners of every apartment building I've ever been in. So I advise to use that when you're moving in and out too. So because they're thick. Those things are thick, and they're designed to be 90-degree angles. So like, they're gonna fit most corners that you're dealing with.
I'm seeing a pack of 50 on Amazon for about $35.
A pack of 50 for $35.
That's a deal.
Yeah, and then also you have them for your friends then. I mean, like, that's a lot.
We are all protecting corners today.
Yeah, and also I think you could probably go to like FedEx and probably buy them individually too. I think I would be wager a guess you could get them at FedEx or any type of like mail center. You could probably walk in and buy them for like $2 or something.
And then the cat rope that you were looking for is called Sissel.
Oh,
rope.
yeah. That's what, Sissel. So it's a little prickly, and it's not great to a human touch, but it does work really well for kitty cats. And the way to adhere that really well is to wrap it and then to staple it on a side where the cat's not going to get to it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
If you wrap it tight enough, it's not going to slip and slide anyways. And wherever you put a staple, just make sure it's not going to be in a way where a cat's claw is going to get to it. Does that make sense? I think we answered this pretty good.
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense. You guys helped out a ton. I would have never thought to think about the cardboard thing. I didn't even think you could buy those. I don't know why I never thought about it.
Yeah, and that's you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? So they also make like corner protectors for just regular walls and stuff, like plastic protectors. But when you're talking about a trim like this, it's not going to really fit. Where the cardboard is, that's thick enough and wide enough that it should cover most of it. And if it doesn't
And
cover,
you can always cut it to fit.
yes, you can always cut it. And if it doesn't fit the rest, you can always put any cardboard there. Do you know what I mean? You just got to make sure it's thick enough so that it will deter the claw. You know what I mean? That's the only thing you got to do.
Yeah.
Like those packaging heavy duty boxes that you get from like Home Depot or Lowe's, they might work too. Like if you don't want to go the corner route, you can probably just get one of those and do the same thing, just wrap the whole frame. Like you could wrap it from one side of the door frame to all the way to the other side of the door frame, just with one box. Do you know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it just make sure that you're using painter's tape to adhere it to the wall or frog
That way it's
tape.
not pulling off
Yeah,
paint
don't
and
use
stuff.
duct tape. Do not use duct tape. Or
Oh, never.
if you don't mind putting a few pinholes in it, you can always use like some type of tacks too, or something like that. Just make sure that it's not going to yank out and pop out of the wall when your cat's trying to use it. You know what I mean? Okay. Does that did that make you sparkle? Did that?
It did. This was wonderful. I feel a lot more confident being able to deal with this now. Got a few different solutions, so feeling good.
Wonderful. Well, I hope you have a really good day. Please give my best to your kitty cats. Okay.
I will. They will get so much love from you. Thank you again so much.
Yeah, no problem. I'm so happy that I can help. And have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye.
Bye.
Hey there. I just want to start by saying I absolutely love your videos. They're short, simple, sweet, and to the point. Very easy to follow. I'm having an issue. The hot water in my sink faucet has absolutely no pressure all of a sudden. The cold side is perfectly normal. So I was wondering what I could do to fix that. My name is Candace. My pronouns are she and her. Thank you so much, and thank goodness for you.
Hello.
Oh, hey there. Hi, Candace. How's it going?
Hi, how are you? It's great. How are you?
I just want you to know I can't say your name right up the front. Cadence?
It's okay. It's Candace, my best friend Sarah, like my whole life. She can't pronounce it, so she just calls me Kansas.
Kansas is we're going to go Kansas. Hey, thank you. Thank you for calling in. I hope a tornado does not lift you up, like a Wizard of Oz. The bad joke. I tried.
No.
Sometimes I'm bad. I'm not good at my job sometimes, But anyways, okay, Kansas, how's it going? Has the pressure gotten any better, -worse, or anything?
Honestly, I haven't tried to do anything with it yet. The person that actually owns this house came in and did used that air compressor and blew some lines or something. I don't know. But literally as soon as he left it, like the pressure was gone.
Oh, wow. You just solved it. Wow. Okay, so was it like that before they did that?
Like low pressure on the high side or the hot side?
Yeah, was it like that before they tried to clear the lines?
Yes.
It was and then it got worse.
Yes. So now there's the hot water just barely trickles out. Like it was fine.
It's the water
and then
supply.
He left and
it's the water supply. So,
okay.
Do you have one handle that controls the hot and the cold, or do you have one handle for the hot and one handle for the cold?
Yeah, one for each.
Okay, so it could be two things, but with them using an air compressor and it getting bad, so did they open up the line and then try to blow through your water supply, like through a hose?
Yes.
Oh, so they tried to. Yeah, no, it's then I'm wrong. It's your stem. So, okay, you have the hot water and the cold water. You have something called a stem system.
Okay.
If you had one handle, you would have a cartridge system. And a stem is something that's underneath the handle of your faucet, okay?
Okay.
And it's basically what controls water coming in and out and stuff. When it goes bad, when a stem goes bad, it will cause low pressure and just be a living nightmare. Okay.
Yes.
Also, sometimes, because there's two separate lines underneath. There's going to be one for your hot water and one for your cold water. Okay. The reason why I brought up the water supply is because sometimes the water supply that connects the hot water to cold water and all that gets kind of clogged with calcium, and that could be a common thing. But if they blew the lines, they could have caused more damage inadvertently to that stem if it was already on its way out.
Oh, okay.
So
well, see, he went and bought a new faucet and put it on, and it worked. And like literally 30 minutes after he left, I turned the hot on, and the pressure was back the same way it was, only worse.
So you're telling me that they put in a new faucet? Okay. You're killing me, Kansas! You keep giving me information after I give you the answer! What? This is not how this works! I'm supposed to give you the answer, and you're supposed to give me all the information, and then I give you the answer. And then...
Listen, honey, I'm from Tennessee. I'm a little backwards, okay?
Okay, my friend. Okay, so now, oh, Jesus, now you're just making it harder. Okay. So,
I'm so sorry.
they put in a new faucet, and it was good for 30 minutes, and it got bad. And okay, so have they changed the water supply? Have they changed the hose underneath?
The hose underneath. Actually, I think he did. Let me look. It's been a little while ago. Yeah, they look new. They look brand new. Well, not brand new, but not as old as the pipe is there.
This makes me so irate right now. So you change the water supply, you change the faucet, so it's not going to be the stem, it's not going to be the sink. It could be the lines. They blew the lines.
Yeah.
Is it something in the hot water heater? But it's only it's not hot water in your shower. It ain't hot water in the bathroom sink. It is only the hot water in your sink in the kitchen.
Yes, the cold water runs perfect, but just when you turn that hot water on, it's just trickling.
Well, either they didn't blow the line hard enough and they didn't clear it properly, or I'm missing something completely. Because I can't even think of one darn thing that it would be at that point. I think that the hot water heater typically would be the answer there. But the fact that you're not having that problem anywhere else is really interesting. So it's not. So you're still getting hot water, but it's just trickling out, right? Right?
Oh yeah, and it's so annoying when you have to wash dishes.
Yeah, you barely can wash the dishes at that point.
Yeah.
You either got to you got to just use straight cold water, or you got to wait for the hot water.
Yeah, we have to wait for the hot water, or I'll put cold water in a pot on the stove. I just don't want to. I like doing things myself. I've got 2 boys, and I was going to tell you, your videos have helped me so much. I've been able to show my 2 boys how to do these things too. So you're helping us tremendously, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Right now, I'm going to have Basil fact check a few things and try to hunt down some answers really quickly for you and see if we can find a list here of possible things that it could be. And then I'm going to tell you how plausible it is in your situation. And maybe that will narrow it down enough. So when you tell the person who owns the space what's going on, maybe you might have enough vocabulary to help it. Okay?
Okay.
Because again, the people who are living in a space typically know a lot more about the space than the person who owns it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, honey, I've been here for 8 years.
You've been here for 8 years? So have you ever had this problem before? Have you ever had any type of problem like this at all?
It's just this same darn faucet.
So,
I'll watch your videos, and if we get a little hole or something, I'll patch it. And you helped me put in a new bathroom sink, by the way, and it's perfect.
Oh.
It's just this kitchen faucet.
It's just a faucet, and this has been going on for years.
Oh yeah, he fixed it, and he saw that it was fine. I was like, I'm not bothering him. He was here for like 2 or 3 hours that day, working. I mean, he owns like a lawnmower company. He's
just to clarify, this has been going on for 8 years. This specific problem.
Off and on, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this
Yeah.
seems like a larger problem with the line itself
Oh,
that
okay.
might need to be, it might be kind of beyond fixing. Unless, I don't know. I wonder if it's calcium that builds up in there, and that typically is. Where do you live right now? Do you live in Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm in Elizabethton.
Okay. Um, I don't know what the calcium level. I don't know if there's a lot of calcium in that area, but that can clog up a drain pretty bad. And I wonder if something with a high pressure of water coming from the water heater wouldn't solve the problem.
Huh.
I wonder. I don't know. Basil, did you get anything? Yeah, basically everything that I went through is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the problem with this one, is that basically all the top reasonings are all the things I said. So
Okay.
I think that either they didn't blow hard enough on the line, and they didn't, because if you just go in there and you just use a air compressor and you just put it on for 1 second, that actually isn't going to do much. You got to go in there and you got to hold it on. You got to hold it in there.
Okay.
And you got to make sure it gets all the way down. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And,
yeah, he didn't hold it on there very long.
Yeah, that might be the problem. It could be that maybe there was human error when they were trying to clear the lines.
Do you, by chance, know if they have looked at your water pressure valve at all?
Ooh, actually, no, I don't.
That would be weird if the water pressure valve. That would be really weird, Baze. Like if it's okay, so your water pressure valve is on your hot water heater, right? But if that was the case, it should theoretically cause a problem for every single hot water in that space. But maybe, I don't know, what if it was partially closed? I don't know that. I don't do enough work on hot water heaters.
The only reason I ask is because it says here a busted pressure regulator significantly reduces water pressure and can cause random spikes and dips in your water pressure output.
Oh.
Well, that's over my head and through the woods, buddy.
Yeah, so this might be more.
Me and Kansas are both like, I have no idea. I stopped listening the moment I heard the big word. Right over my head. Yeah. Well, Kansas, I hope we filled you up with enough knowledge that maybe point you in the right direction. It's got to be the lines at that point. That's the only common denominator that isn't fully solved. You know?
Okay.
How long of a journey from the hot water heater to the kitchen? Like,
gosh, it's close. This is an older house, so the hot water heater is literally in the kitchen, like maybe 2 feet from the sink.
That's even fucking weirder, dude. That's even weirder that's the
Isn't it crazy, though? You'd think that I wouldn't have a problem at all with this one.
Yeah, because a part of me was hoping that it was a last in the line. Right, Baze?
Right.
Yeah. Baze and I were thinking the same thing. Like if it was like your shower and then it was like your bathroom sink and then it was your kitchen, well, maybe there's something there. But if it's like the first one in line and it gets that clogged, if you're listening to this right now, and you have a solution, you better call in. I am fascinated with this one. Okay, Kansas, I hope this helped at least a little bit. I wish we could give you better advice than...
Hey, you know what? I'm just tickled I got to speak with you, so it's all good.
I'm tickled you let me call you Kansas over and over again.
You wouldn't believe everybody does.
Well, my friend, I wish you luck, and I hope the pressure is a lot better on the other side. And I hope that someday your ruby slippers finds the solution. Oh, boy, I should have stopped. Okay, talk to you later, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this wonderful episode of the Handy Ma'am Hotline. Everyone, thank you so much for making this such an amazing experience with the Handy Ma'am Hotline. This is one of the last episodes we'll be doing of this version of the show. We will be coming back in February underneath a new name called Maintenance is a Drag. and we will be telling you more about that later on. But thank you so much for making this show amazing. We still have a few more episodes coming out before we kind of change gears. But this has just been a great time, and we're so happy that you enjoy the new format. We enjoy the new format too, and we're going to do an iteration of it going forward, and we're very excited about it. All that being said, thank you so much for making our book tour so successful. If you're listening to this right now in December, hopefully we have made it through the book tour. We've done 52 cities. And it's been a blast meeting so many people. Over 12,000 people have come out and have met us, and we have loved it every second of the way. So thank you so much for making it an amazing experience. And if you have any questions or concerns, or you think I messed it up, please do me a favor and call this number,
608-205-8768.
and leave your grievance with that voicemail, and we may return it. If you got your own questions about your own DIY projects, please make sure you call that same number. And until next time, just remember, you're worth the time it takes to learn a new skill. The theme song was created by Rhodey Walker. Questions were picked up by our production assistant, Ziggy. A big thank you to our executive producer, Basil. And this podcast was recorded and edited by Matthew Allen Haig. Thank you for listening. See you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, please help us keep the pirate ship alive by supporting our sponsors, the wonderful iFixit. They fight for your right to repair and makes really cool tools in the process. If you need to fix your phone, laptop, or even a vacuum, iFixit has thousands of parts, tools, and free guides to make your life a little bit easier. If you enjoyed this episode of the Handyman Hotline, you can listen to an even longer version by supporting us on Patreon. If you support us on Patreon, $10 or more, you'll be able to get an extra long 30 to 45 minute section every single week. Isn't that amazing? More of me and Maggie. Wow! So thank you so much for all those who already support us, and you too can support us and listen to more on our Patreon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So grab your hammer and nails and paint your nails if you want to. You're worth the time it takes to be you. She'll teach you how to fix your house, how to fix it by yourself. The trans handyman, Mercury Stardust.
Please hang up and try your call again.